Hello, everyone. My name is Ava, and Danielle and I are going to be doing a live today, mental health check-in and a chat since our last live video. And we're just going to be doing some goal setting for the new year, our mental health goals, and just check in and see where we're at since our last video. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Hi, Arsha. I can see that you've joined. How are you doing today? Hi. Just getting Danielle joined in. Just waiting for Danielle to join, and we're going to get started with our live. We're going to be doing a mental health check-in just since our last video. And oh, hi, I see someone else who's joined. Hi, how's it going? So I've got Danielle here. I'm just going to join her into the call. I think it's connecting. It says... Hey, hi
Hey,
Danielle.
hey,
How's it
how are you?
going?
Good, how are
I'm
you?
good, good. How are you doing this morning?
I'm all right, I'm all right.
That's awesome. I was just saying hi to some people. I see, hey Ava, how are you, girlfriend? Hello from Ireland. Hey, how's it going? Good to
Oh,
see you
nice. Awesome.
guys.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, just gonna get myself organized here. So, oh, Fascinating joined.
Oh, what's up, Aka?
And Sierra Leoneans, thank you all so much for being here this morning. I was just saying that Danielle and I are going to be doing a mental health check-in since our last chat. If you guys missed it a couple weeks ago, we did a little mental health share of our personal stories, which you guys can totally go check out in my IGTV videos. And today we're just going to kind of do a little quick recap and a check-in since then and talk about some of our mental health goals for the new year. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so how are you doing this morning, Danielle?
I'm a little tired, but I woke up, so that's a blessing.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty, struggled a bit through Christmas, but feeling pretty grateful and kind of getting back on track today. How about you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm feeling about the same. I'm feeling a little tired too. I didn't sleep that great last night. But it is what it is. And we're here and we're doing it. And yeah, the holidays can be a really hard time for a lot of people. And that's like on a normal year, right? So now we're talking about COVID Christmas for a lot of people. A lot of people might not have been able to be with their family or loved ones. So it's definitely a hard year. So it's good to do a little check-in and just, keep it real. How we're doing.
Yeah, it made me really come to realize this year for Christmas that a lot of people who lost all their families this year, and family members and friends. It kind of had a little ache in my heart. I just thought it was very, very sad year. I feel,
Yeah, I
and
agree with you.
all the deaths from COVID that people could even be at the funeral for some members that passed, and just
Yeah.
just a lot of feelings this Christmas.
Yeah,
I felt.
I agree. It is a lot to process, and I feel like, the whole world is going through so much right now. And yeah, and everybody's holidays looked different this year. Like every single person would have been touched in some way by COVID, and especially those who've lost family. It's incredibly tough. It's like, when you're grieving and you're supposed to feel like, oh, it's the holidays, I'm supposed to be happy. But it's like, no, sometimes it's not like that.
No, I agree with you. I didn't feel a lot of happiness this Christmas. I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why, but I just felt it was one thing after the next. Like just taking some time to reflect on this year, taking time to about, grateful. No one in my family got sick. Um, Grateful for that, but it's still tough. It was tough just thinking back about reflecting from the beginning of the year to now, right? Kind of where we've been
Yeah.
at. But when I look back on the last 2 weeks, it's been
Yeah.
extra tough. I feel with Christmas. Like I have all the Christmas decorations out the tree, and I'm still not smiling. So what's going on with me, right?
Yeah.
Christmas has never been a happy time for me, and I don't know why. But this year, since I wasn't working and stuff like that, I was kind of able to pinpoint it a bit more. Um, we do take care of two African girls in Uganda who will be coming out here. Well, with COVID, it's been a delay, so
Hmm.
hopefully they'll be out here next year. But I think what really got to me this year was I never really seen where they live because we got them off the streets, which is amazing, and I didn't know kind of like their living situation. I just
Hmm.
knew that they had shelter. Um, and I'm grateful that we're able to support them from here and keep them off the streets. They can't find work. So, at one point, the older sister had to become like a bit of a prostitute to just kind of feed her sister and brother, which is very sad. So that
Yeah.
really got to me. And
Yeah.
then when she showed me their place, I just kept thinking, sometimes we have all these, material things and all this stuff around us. And some of us are still not happy. It was the first time I actually got a good connection in Africa where I could actually see them. 4 years were struggling because they never had Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
no cell phones. I never saw what they looked like for 4 years till a few days ago, and my
Yeah.
heart almost broke. And they were so happy, even though they had nothing and missed meals, they were still happy. And that really kind of uplifted me a bit, even though they're in a bad, like not a great situation. They were still able to smile through it, and that's something that I'm trying to practice every day now. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just little things like that. Just trying to be more grateful for everything, even the air that we breathe. We have such good air quality in Canada, and just
Mm-hmm.
embracing that even.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. I know, and it's well, we can get into it a little bit more. Like it is really tough when you're taking care of people in Africa for sure. And Fascinating and I are doing the same with our family, and it can be really tough to not be together. And something that was hard for me over the holidays too was our daughter Isa too lives in Guinea, so we're not together. And we're trying to bring her here. We're trying to have her come to Canada to come live with us, and we're working on the paperwork, and it's a step-by-step process, and we're working through it, but it's a frustrating process and it's a long process, and yeah, it's just really sad some days just that we're not together yet,
Well,
and the time.
the application like the size of a book. It's a lot
Yeah,
to go through, right?
it is. Yeah, and it's just getting all of the documents, getting everything organized and ready. And then, yes, there is COVID happening as well, so you don't really know exactly what's going to happen. Like the Canadian government has to approve her a special circumstance for her to be able to come here because they're only allowing Canadians in like special circumstances to come to Canada, right? So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to process. And then I'm really grateful that we are able to chat with her on the phone. We had like a video chat on Christmas with her. And we actually had a little dance party together on video chat with her. So I'm really grateful for those moments. But it can be very sad to not be together, especially on the holidays. And it's just like you get to that point where you're like, come on already. Like, I just want to be at that point where we've got plane ticket booked for her and she's coming, and it gets hard sometimes.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is you're working towards it, and you guys know she's
Yes.
going to come here one day. I'm also
Yes.
in the same position. I have to explain to the government why the girls are coming back to Canada, and that's
Hmm.
hard too. So I
Hmm.
understand that process. It's tough. It's tough writing a letter, but you'd be
Yeah.
very honest, right? Like you just have to be honest and
Yeah.
have to
And
see
it,
how it goes, right?
yeah, and it can be frustrating, anything working with the government and paperwork and stuff. Oh, yeah. But we were able to still have some good moments despite Christmas looking different, right? And so we did have that little video dance party together where we put on music and we just video chatted and danced together, and that was really nice. And I've just been trying to talk with her almost every day if she's able to use her auntie's Facebook. So like it's been great that we at least have that connection where we can talk. And like with you and the girls, I know it's just like it's the same. It's hard, and we just got to try and stay positive that they are going to be able to come here soon.
Yes. Now they're in a place with Wi-Fi, so that's great. I can keep in touch with them more.
That's awesome. Yeah, exactly.
I felt Christmas this year, it was good. There's pros and cons to Christmas for me this year.
Hmm.
I actually enjoyed Christmas dinner, to be honest,
Hmm.
because we didn't go all out this year. I didn't bring out any Christmas plates. I didn't decorate like what I do, put the tablecloth on, nothing. I kept it very simple. We
Hmm.
put a slow cooker meal on, which we've never done before. And I just thought
That's
easy
awesome.
cleanup. I like that part about Christmas because I feel like all the other years my mom goes to the next level. I find it very stressful. She's in the kitchen from morning to night, and I just felt it was nice to just kind of chill.
Yeah.
I did miss family, but at the same time, it's like going to one house to the next house to the next house, and this year was just kind of like Christmas Day was chilled. It was
Yeah.
nice to stay in one spot. I did miss seeing a lot of family, but at the same time, it was nice to just stay home all day for a
Yep.
whole day on Christmas. I've never done that before.
I know, same. And you know what? That's a really positive way to look at it, right? Because the exact same thing for us. It's like, you know, Christmas is usually quite busy. You're visiting lots of different people, but today we stayed in our pajamas the whole day. We took our time opening presents. We didn't rush. We were relaxed. We just relaxed a lot. And you know what? I think I really needed that too. I know in our last video we were touching about like, you know, I'm a person who's constantly on the go. I'm overworking myself and I can get close to burnout a lot. So it was just really nice to have like the holidays be pretty restful. And I really, really needed that. So yeah, trying to just look at the positives. And I know it is a hard time for a lot of people because there's some people who are alone. There's people who are going through mental health challenges. There's people who are grieving. You know, it's been a lot. But yeah, we really are just trying to keep on the positive and look at the plus and do the best we can, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. And just trying to reflect. And I just tell you, it's
Yeah.
always good to have that. I hope everybody always has that one person to talk to during these times. Like one person you can really count on if you're having a bad day. You can say whatever you want to them. It's not going to go anywhere. I think that's very important.
Hmm.
Having someone to vent to or just someone to talk to, good and bad.
Yeah.
You're not keeping all that stress built up in you.
Yeah.
And just to be on the safe side. Like my friend just suffered a stroke and she's been really my motivation to keep my levels down. She's a young girl.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when you see one of your close friends having a stroke who's already healthy and exercising, it just makes you like sometimes when I'm at a 10 out of 10, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like I have to really bring myself down and be like, okay, what am I grateful for today? It's
Hmm.
easy, you know, it's easier said than done to
Hmm.
just be this relaxed person and act like you have
Oh
no
yeah.
problems.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to talk it out. There's a lot of people who walk around trying to put a face on for people, but that's what people want to see. And inside they're hurting.
Hmm.
I want to help people like that come out of their shell because, like I said, when I was suicidal, it didn't matter what anybody told me. It didn't matter that people said, "Oh, you know, my husband's like, you leave your kids behind and me behind." Like, you're in a spot in your head where you don't even care. It's scary how deep suicidal can get when you get to the point where you just don't care about anything. It's like you don't care. You can't
Yeah.
even figure out what's going on in your head. Never mind trying to, you know, you have loved ones around you, but you don't see them. Like it's hard. My brain went through something that I never thought I'd go through. I'm
Yeah.
glad I came out of it. I'm glad I'm still alive today. I'm glad I didn't jump off the bridge. Um, it was really hard because I had nurses coming weekly, doctors calling me weekly. I wasn't allowed to walk on bridges. I wasn't allowed to go near bridges because every time I went near a bridge, I just want to stop the car and literally just jump off, or I want to take my son onto the bridge, and just a lot of it's not funny. Those thoughts were not funny, but when I look back to it, I'm like, wow, like that was something that I went through, and I've been in counseling since, and
Yeah.
I do not regret counseling at all. Counseling has gotten me to where I am today.
Yeah. I'm
And
so thankful for that too. You know, I'm
yeah,
so
so am I.
thankful.
Took a while, took a couple years, but yeah, when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, there's always light at the end of the tunnel if you want to see it. And it was really hard to get refocused, but I respect people who go through mental health now. I respect people who have suicidal thoughts because now that I've been there, I can understand it. I didn't understand it before. I thought, oh, you're just being so selfish thinking like that. But
Hmm.
it's not like you're trying to be selfish. It's just the thoughts, they just overtake your brain.
Yeah.
It's like you're fighting demons in your brain all day when your mental health is not balanced.
Yeah. I'm so thankful that you got through that and that you're still here today, Danielle, because
Yeah,
you
so
know
am
I
I.
love you.
Yeah, it was just, yeah. It's still painful when I look back, but I'm just glad I'm here to see my kids grow up.
Yeah, exactly. I see that Lori said hello. Hi, Lori. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. We're just chatting about mental health, the holidays, and sharing some of our stories. And yeah, thanks for sharing that, Danielle.
Yeah, and thank you everyone who's hopping on right now. I'm glad you guys can join our talk. Ava and I kind of started this just because we just want to make, more awareness for people, make them, want to make people feel like they're not alone. I have joined some mental health talks during this time, and it makes it feel good to hear about some people. We are all on the same page. I'm a mom of
Hmm.
two, and then Ava shared a bit of. Why don't you share a little bit of your story, kind of like a short recap from.
Yeah, well, in our last video, I kind of shared a little bit about my story, my journey with POI, which stands for premature ovarian insufficiency. I was diagnosed when I was in high school, like around age 17-ish. And that means premature menopause. I was told that I won't be able to have kids naturally, that I don't have any eggs. So yeah, so it was, that's quite a journey, and I will be sharing my stories some more actually around that too, in the future. But I chatted last time about, I shared the things that I go through with burnout. I will overwork myself to the point of burning out, and my mental health will really suffer. The anxiety around that, and a bit about grief. So I was just, talking about that. So that's why I'm really trying to keep balanced during the holidays when I'm off work. And my goal is when I go back to work to not fall back into the overworking and to try and keep that balance.
Good.
And yeah, yeah. And Danielle, do you want to do a little recap of your story?
Yeah, basically, I was just when I came on the first time with Ava, I was just a mom. I'm a mom of two, a 19-month-old and a 4-year-old, and basically, I suffered severe postpartum depression halfway through my first pregnancy, and very severe after the pregnancy. And it's just something I've been trying to get balance for the first couple of years. And then as soon as
Hmm.
I got my life balanced out, where I was gonna maybe start attending the gym and getting back to some sort of normal, having a better schedule, COVID hit. So then that really brought me under the bus a bit, and I kind of went backwards and fell into a deeper depression. But then slowly, I kind of turned around COVID to a positive view for me, which was hard. And now, like I just explained, through COVID, I don't, when I kind of looked, if I was actually working and then dealing with the kids and everything else that I do at the house, I probably wouldn't be home baking. I started baking from scratch. And I don't think it ever would have been done. I just finished making my own pizza dough. I make homemade bread now. I make homemade hamburger buns, hot dog buns. I'm making homemade everything, things that I never thought I would have had time for. So that's been one. That's been a huge positive for me through COVID right now, and also watching my kids grow up uh, through the whole like this whole year. I've been really in tune with my kids. Like, wow, I've missed out on so many different things. Playing with them more one on one. My daughter, just listening to her speak her first words. If she was actually in school, I probably would have missed a lot of her first words right now, if she was in daycare. So it's been positive. There's some positives to that. But
Hmm.
if you're a mom out there, it was hard, and it still is hard being home 7 days a week with your kids and not being able to go to places like the aquarium or Science World, or you there's nothing to do for the kids. So you have to come up. You have to be even more creative this year. Like it
Yeah.
just hiking, like just doing treasure hunts in the yard, just making it fun for the kids. So it kind of, at the end of the day, kind of made me a bit more creative as a mom. It's been fun, but still, it's still challenging, right? I have one kid who likes to stay in the house all day, and one kid who likes to go outside all day. So it's kind of finding out. That's the hardest part. Like, my son will go outside. It's raining. I'm staying inside. I'm like, okay, my daughter, rain, snow, hail, lightning. She don't care if she wants to go outside. So I think that was the hardest part. What are we
They're
doing
so
today?
cute.
Nothing. What are we doing tomorrow? Nothing. Like we're gonna go drive through McDonald's today. Tomorrow we're gonna drive through Tim Hortons. Then we're gonna go drive through A&W. Like it was like a drive-through habit happening through COVID. And
Yeah.
during the drive-through, there was like 25. There was huge lineups at the beginning of COVID through drive-throughs, and I would sit in that. That was my break in the car. That's when I recharged my brain. I know it
Hmm.
sounds crazy, but that was the only way I could recharge. Have a moment to myself. In the drive-through, you're just stuck there, like
Yeah.
a
The
half
kids
an
are in the
hour
car
sometimes.
seats.
Yeah, daughter falls asleep, son's on his iPad. It was like a win-win situation, getting in the car and driving places and doing things like that. And that's kind of
Hmm.
how I kind of got through it with my mental health. So
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. It's good to have things like that, and it's really good like you said, keep on the positive and be grateful that you had more time together, and to just remember those moments because that is special time, like that is really great that you guys got to
it,
spend that time together.
yeah, no, it is. I didn't gain any weight, but hey, I made sure I ate properly when I went through the drive-throughs. No, 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 thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention, since the last time that we checked in a couple weeks ago, I did a POI support group. It was
Oh
the
wow.
first time ever that I'd ever done one before, and it was on Zoom. And there were women from all around the world. There were just 9 ladies on the call, and it was so amazing because it was really nice to just have that support group there and to hear their stories and to share my story with them. And it makes, when you have other people who have gone through the same stuff with you, it there's this understanding, like this unsaid understanding that you guys know what each other is going through. And it was so nice. Like I felt so connected to those ladies, even though I had just met them for the first time. And I can't wait for the next one. It's going to be in January sometime. So it looks like it might be something that might be once a month, which on Zoom, which is it's so amazing that we can all connect like that. And for years, like for the last 10 years, I've wanted something like that, you know, and never found the right group and stuff. Like there's online groups where people can text and chat and send messages to each other. But having that video call with all of us was just really, really awesome. And I really wanted to share that felt like so amazing. And yeah, if there's any ladies who are watching this and want to get more information about that, if you have POI, just like send me a message and I will make sure to get you the info for the next one if you're interested in joining, because that I was just blown away. It was an amazing day for me when I did that group.
I'm so happy to hear that. And doesn't it make a difference when you're seeing people live, talking to them compared to
Yeah.
text? And I just have so much respect for support groups because I was in a support group for 4 years, all the way up to COVID. And it was nice going in and seeing all the moms and we're on the same page. And it just feels good. It feels good. You feel supported. And then you feel like you're not the only one out there dealing with whatever you're dealing with.
Exactly, because you can feel so alone. And even if you like know, yeah, there's other people who are going through this, you can still feel so alone because maybe in your personal life you don't have anybody who can relate, or you don't talk with anybody of your friends can be supportive, and I'm super grateful for you. I'm super grateful for my other friends. But like when you're having a support group and the ladies who are going through the exact same thing as you, there's just something about that. It's just wow.
You know what led me to my support group? And I hate to say it. When I had postpartum, I couldn't figure out why I got it, what is the cause of it. And when I had friends telling me like, oh, you still have postpartum? Oh, why do you still have it? You're still not better yet? You still have... They didn't see that was very hurtful because they made me feel worse as an individual, because it's like they made me feel even worse. And then I start questioning myself, well, why do I have it? How come I can't break it? I used to be this strong girl. And sometimes having that support group, I took the support group and I stopped talking to like everybody else. Like you have a handful of friends that you can actually talk to, but when you have people asking you why you like this, when you don't even know, like I think that's hard. People are not aware sometimes about what they say, but
I know.
And
yeah.
I was super sensitive during that time because I was crying about nothing. And then when you hear things like that, it's just like, oh, I was doing my best to come out of it. So I really respect you being in a group. It's nice to reach out to people.
Thank you.
And that takes a lot of not strength to go in a group too, right? Because at first you have to admit that you're suffering in that area, and then you're like, hey, I want to do something about it. And until you make that step forward, you kind of just get stuck in this same rotation.
Yeah. And I'm really sorry that happened to you. Like sometimes people can say things and they have no idea how insensitive they're being. And I totally understand that, but in a different way, because there'll be people in my life who I've known for 10 plus years and they know that I have POI. And they'll always, like, those people who will still ask me, so when are you guys having kids? And it's like, it just sometimes that question can hit you out of the blue, and like sometimes like literally that can make or break my day. Like when someone ask me that, I'm actually getting emotional now, like people don't.
Especially if you're already having a bad day, or you woke up thinking about, I do want to have kids, but it's like, you can't, but you do want to have kids. You just have those days, right? Like it's hard, especially if your mind was set to have kids like yourself, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that comes up with your feelings once in a while, you wake up thinking, oh, I don't know if I can or can't. That must be hard for you, like just to...
Yeah. And just like, we do still want to have kids, but it just might be in a different way. Yeah. And that's okay. And I understand that people don't mean any harm by it, but when people who are close to me forget, like that hurts, and then when they ask me, like, that hurts sometimes when I'm like, well, do you remember I have POI? Like I have premature ovarian insufficiency, and usually they'll feel really bad. Like, but people don't mean anything bad by it, but sometimes
it's just that timing which sucks sometimes.
Yeah, and it just really hurts sometimes, especially if it catches you off guard. And then some days like I can deal with it a bit better, but some days it just can really like,
Just up
yeah,
and down, right? Like a roller coaster sometimes.
yeah.
And not in a bad way. It's just
It's just the
and
way it is.
it's
Yeah.
such a blessing that there are different ways to have kids these days,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
And that's a blessing in itself. Nowadays, there's different options.
Yeah.
But you know, for some people, accepting that there's options is hard. Some people want to have kids themselves, and then they
Yeah.
won't even have any because it's just they want to have it themselves. It's hard, right? So I
It's
respect
really hard.
anybody
Yeah.
in those situations. I am glad that there's different ways to have children now. But no, that's still tough though.
Yeah. Yeah, so like having that support group was like such an amazing experience for me because I just finally felt like I wasn't alone. Like I know from the Facebook groups that there are other women going through it. I've connected with women on Instagram, but just having that video chat group with everybody, seeing everybody's faces, seeing everybody sharing their stories, and listening to their stories and being like, "That's my story too." Like that was amazing, you know. And then also since the last time me and you chatted, I've done EFT, emotional freedom technique, tapping.
Oh,
And it was the first time I ever did it. And it actually was really amazing because the lady was talking me through this, like a one episode of something that I wanted to work through. And we were tapping and we were talking and tapping. And actually, I did end up having like a release. I cried and we talked about this emotion and we kept doing it until it didn't hurt the same way anymore, until like I felt like I had released some of it. It's hard to explain, but if you're interested in checking it out, anybody who has never tried it, tapping or EFT, emotional freedom technique, I recommend checking it out and I would try it again. And then I also did a counseling session in the last 2 weeks since we've talked, and that went really well too. So I'm feeling like that was some those three things, the support group, the EFT, and the counseling, it did help me get through the holidays. I tried to be really grateful. I tried to just focus on having patience and just trying to, yeah, try to keep positive, but journaling when I was feeling down, journaling when I was missing Isa too, calling her, messaging her, expressing that to my family, to my friends. And, my grandma is going through a lot right now. She's sick. For the last month, my mom's been pretty well taking care of her because she's been dizzy every time she stands up. She has it, her foot has been having problems. She also has diabetes. So like she's been going through a lot and the doctors can't figure out what's wrong and they can't figure out. So it's been really tough. And my mom has been taking care of her, like as in like cooking, cleaning and washing her and like being there for her every day and stuff. So like I know that it's really hard on my mom emotionally too. So like there's a lot going on there and it's been hard to go through that as well because I'm worried about my grandma and I'm trying to be supportive of my mom and my grandma and my family and it's just been really hard. But like my grandma's been in the emergency 3 times in the last 5 weeks maybe. And but it was like one time she had to stay overnight. The other 2 times they did her blood work and sent her home. But the first time she went into the emergency, when my mom called me and told me that, I had like a collapse. Like I just collapsed on the floor crying because I was so worried. Because right before that, her sister had passed away. And her sister, who lives in Germany, she had underlying health conditions and she was in the hospital, but she also caught COVID and she passed away. And so, like, of course, my grandma's sad because of that, and my grandma's sick. And then I get the call that my grandma has to go to the hospital here, and I just collapsed. I was so worried. I was so like freaked out. I thought, oh my God, she's gonna catch COVID in the hospital. I just cried, like I just collapsed on the floor and just started crying because we had just lost her sister, and I was just like, oh my God, is the same thing gonna happen to her? And that was really hard. And luckily, she was okay, and she came through it, and she came back home, but it was like that was so triggering and it was like I feel so bad for my grandma too because she's lost a few of her sisters over the years and
her
she
husband.
just lost her sister and she just lost her husband and my grandpa
That's tough.
Sopa and like I feel like she's going through a lot. So
I'm happy that you got over the hospital scene because you do remember my son had
yes,
surgery in
yes,
September, and I was freaking out with the COVID situation because they
I
just had an
know,
outbreak at the hospital,
yeah,
but man,
yeah,
but you know, when I got into the hospital with my son and he had his own private room, and I felt it felt really good. The outcome was good. Everything was clean, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
disinfected. It's
Mhm.
different to hear when you hear about like COVID outbreak in a hospital. It's two different things. You're hearing an outbreak in the hospital, but the hospital is massive, so you don't know where the outbreak happened in. And then also, everyone's really doing a good job
Yeah.
trying to be safe and clean
And
there.
yeah, and you and Kate talked me through that. Both of you said the same thing. You guys were like, the hospitals are really good. Like, she's probably going to be totally fine. She probably won't even come into contact with anybody who's got COVID. The doc, like, they take really good precautions. And you guys both talked me down from that. Like, I was, it calmed me down. You guys were like, don't worry, she's going to be okay. And she was. And it's just scary, but, you know,
But here's a joke. I told the surgeon at the end, should we quarantine 14 days when we get home? He's like, should I quarantine it all? Well, I don't know, right? Because my
yeah.
son was in the hospital for a few days. But he recovered well. You know, I was stressed out for the first week when he came home because we were in the hospital, just, you know, all the cases and stuff. But yeah, it was fine.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did settle down a bit. No,
Good.
good for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you settled down too, because, you know, that's the only place where your Oma can go right now is to the hospital and something when there's an emergency that comes up. I just want to say, hey, Cindy, I saw that you jumped on, and hey, Cashin, thanks for joining in. Uh, yeah, Ava, that's a lot though.
Thanks, Danielle.
I
Yeah.
just this is why it's so important about mental health, because you've just been going through, and this is what happens when life happens. It's like one thing after the next, after the next, after the next, and you're probably feeling like, is there a light at the end of the tunnel right now?
I know.
There's always something happening. I feel like
There's always family in Africa who are sick. There's always people who need help. It's like it's constant. And I'm not trying to complain about that, but you know what it's like.
oh yeah, like the other day when I saw my sisters in Africa, and I said, "Where's okay? There's one bed. Where's the other bed?" And they're like, "This is what we sleep on together." And I was like I didn't even know they were sharing a bed. I didn't even know their room was the size of my bathroom, um, and I was just heartbroken. And then I was like, "Okay, I was gonna go buy myself something." I was like, "No, we need to send this money to Africa. You guys need to get a queen size mattress or something bigger that you're sharing, and you know, you need to, you know, we need to get the situation kind of sorted out." And they were like crying on the phone. It broke my heart when I saw them on the phone. We were all crying, my mom, but they just said, we've been struggling. Don't like they can't find work, and that's the hardest thing. There's not a lot of work where they are, and they can't find work. And before we were helping them, they were not even eating. And they sent us this beautiful message, because of you guys and what you've done for us right now. Until they come to Canada, we're off the streets, we're safe, and we're eating 3 meals a day now. That really broke my heart. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that was tough, because we are very blessed out here, where we are. And some people, but they're still happy, right? But some people have it good, some people have it bad. You know, we've been through our worst too. But when we had gotten into some bad situations in the past, I got to go back to my parents' house and just restart fresh from there and move back out. People don't have those options, you know.
Hmm.
So even all the people that went homeless this year, it just breaks my heart.
Hmm.
Who didn't have a choice, even if
Yeah.
it's because they couldn't get the CERB payment or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just been a sad year, I find.
I know it's been a lot, and I do have a lot of family who are struggling too, and it's hard. A lot of family and friends who are going through a lot.
Yeah, a lot, especially financially. I feel a lot for people right now.
Hmm.
Anything I can do to help people in any type of way, I'm always willing. You know, if I hear about a family needing, like when I found out that the back surgery needed on the African family member, like if I have extra money, I'm going to give, right? Because it's
Yeah.
just, I rather give than receive. It's just better. I just feel wherever I can help, I like to help. Even as volunteering.
Yeah.
Before I don't really have a lot of money, stay at home mom, so I volunteer a lot when I can.
Hmm.
Obviously, I've been volunteering through COVID times because they stopped all of that for most cases. But
Hmm.
I always try, and
Yeah.
that's been
And
the hardest thing
yeah.
to
And
teach my son.
you know how grateful we are for that you helped out with
Yeah,
that,
well,
you
I'm
know?
grateful. I'm grateful for you and Fazna. You guys are great people. Like this whole year, I've been struggling to teach my kid how to give, and you guys have really helped show some light. I know he's young, but I feel like this is the time to instill it in
He's
your kid.
so smart. He totally
Last
knows
year, he
it's
wouldn't
the
give
right
anything. I'm
time.
not giving my toys away. I don't. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, listen, there's people in the world who don't even have toys. I'm like, I just want you to know something. I want you to appreciate Christmas. I want you to
Hmm.
understand what's behind it. And Christmas is about giving more than
Yeah.
receiving.
Yeah.
And this year he said, I want to give all my toys away to people who don't have toys. So he has a section of toys that we're just going to give away to who he wants to give to. And it's nice that he has formed that habit now.
Yes. And
Or yeah.
that's amazing that you're teaching him that as a value because it's so important, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
sometimes he wants to give everything away and all his money, which is good. But I think my husband bought him a Happy Meal before COVID down at Lonsdale Key, and he decided to give his meal away.
Yeah.
And that was all on his own. And I was stunned when I heard that. And
Yeah.
the kid goes, no, no, no. He goes, yes, yes. And the mom was like, just stunned. And the daughter took the Happy Meal. I'm like, that's great. I
Yeah.
think I hope he just stays like that.
And that is such an important lesson is when you give, you always get it back.
Yeah.
What you put out, it always comes back. It's like it shocked me. I knew this, but the more I do it, the more it keeps happening. And I just, it's just once you get into that cycle and you have that belief around giving and stuff, you continue to get more so that you can continue to give. And it just keeps going.
It comes back right when you need it.
Yep.
Like all through the pregnancy, when I had like swollen feet, and for the whole 10 months, and my husband was stunned. There was a parking spot right at the front of the grocery store for me for the whole time I was pregnant, on both pregnancies. When I go in, the parking lot's full right at the front. Every time, I'm like, wow, like, it just comes back in different ways. It's so weird.
It's so amazing. And I just also want to take this moment because I also want to say that I'm super grateful for the mask sales this year. Having the masks that my mom made out of fabric we brought back from Africa, and now some fabric we've been given and some fabric that we've bought. Like the masks helped so many people, and I'm so grateful for my mom for sewing them, for my friends for helping me sell them, and for sending all of that money to families in need. We've helped over 36 families in Sierra Leone, and it's incredible. You bought so many masks. It's like people are so generous, and I just was blown away by that, and that helps keep me in a good cycle of like there are good people out there in the world. There are people that do want to help others, and it just helped me feeling good. And every time we sent money to a family and they received it, how grateful they were. And people they would pray for you, and you just keep getting this good vibes back, and it was so beautiful.
Oh, I love that. No, your mom made some beautiful masks, girl. She got skills. No, I think that's
Yeah. I'm
great.
so proud of her. And that was something for her to do during quarantine too, right? When she was stuck at home, she was working on those. So that gave her a purpose of something to do as well. And she liked hearing the stories and the thank you messages that people would send. And yeah.
Oh, that's great. I would have loved
Yeah.
to have cleared up my whole house and all the crap I don't need, but it is really hard with kids to like go
Yeah.
through one room at a time, but I think that's great. I had so many projects I thought I could get done, but
I know.
it's just
It's that I same way. I had so many things I thought I would be able to do, and then as soon as I went back to work, it was like, nope. But that's okay. We do what we can. But I want to talk about. I made a list here of some goals for 2021,
Let's hear them, girl.
and I want to share them. But let me just check and see if there's anything else I wanted to say here. Man, hey.
I have some goals
Okay.
too, so I'll tell mine after you.
Okay, I got my little book here.
How are you feeling right now?
Um, I'm feeling good. I was nervous to do this. I'm always get nervous before this because it's so personal and it's live. It's different than doing a speech of something else or like doing acting when you have a script. Like this is unscripted, it's live. So I get nervous. But I feel good now. I feel happy that we checked in, and I feel hopeful for the new year.
Oh,
You
that's good.
know, I do feel like we all went through a lot this year. I went through a lot this year. My friends and family went through a lot, but I feel like that there is good hope for the future, and we're all going to get through it stronger than ever. And I think is the thing when people go through challenges, it does make you a stronger person.
Amen, girl.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, so right now I'm feeling hopeful. I'm
Good.
feeling pretty relaxed right now,
Good.
and I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah. So my goals that I wrote down, I wanted to write them so I wouldn't forget. But these are my mental health goals.
Awesome.
So normally, like at the end of the year, like I'd like to do a recap of my year, which I still want to do a little bit more of. Personally, myself, just journaling it out and looking back on the year, the good and the bad, and what I want to accomplish. But usually I do that in goals of like work goals. right?
Yes.
So these are my mental health goals.
Awesome. Good for you.
So yeah, I just want to keeping the mental health as a priority because if I'm not healthy, I can't help other people. And if I'm
Amen.
not healthy, I can't do anything like for others. So for me, I really get a lot of joy out of helping other people. But if I deplete myself, then that's when I get into the bad state where I can't do anything for anybody else because I'm a wreck. Right. So I got to keep that balance. So that is one of the things on the list. Keeping balance. Yeah, just trying to keep a bit of better of a balance. So resting when I'm feeling tired and seeing the signs of overwhelm and burnout before it happens.
Mhm.
So making sure I pay attention to the signs because I always see them, but I don't always listen to them. So resting when I see the signs before a breakdown happens to try and prevent it from happening is one of my goals to just continually keep working on. Something I've been working on, but I want to really keep focusing on that. Resting when I'm tired, no matter what it is, it can wait until after I rest. It's not more important than my health. It's not more important than my mental health. It's not more important than my physical health because stress takes a big toll on my condition of
Mhm.
POI. So if I have too much stress, it really messes up all the other symptoms. So yeah, so that's a big goal. Boundaries is on my list, being very clear with them and not letting people take advantage of me, keeping the balance with that. Um, so resting does mean doing less, which is scary for me because I try to get as much done all the time. As we talked about, I'm a workaholic, so that's kind of scary for me. But in order to do that, prioritizing the most important things. So scheduling my priorities so that I get those things done, so that I don't feel like the most important things to me aren't done. And just figuring out what are my priorities and doing those things. Because I know that if I'm resting more, I'll end up be doing a little bit less. So that means saying no more often, um, and doing a little bit more for myself to keep the balance. And having as much fun as possible, playing more music, having more dance time, and just keep focusing on gratitude and positivity, my meditation, and my breathing exercises.
I love that. Those are great goals, girl. That
Yeah.
sounds relaxing. I
Thank you.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and my goal is to just keep that while I'm working, to just really make sure I take those times for myself where I don't feel guilty about pushing off my to-do list, where I just focus on my mental health. Because if I could sustain it, then I could keep going without getting the burnouts, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. And remember, don't beat yourself up if you kind of break some of your rules because it does take 90 days to form a new habit.
That's
So
true.
just
That's
baby
true.
steps. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do it in baby steps. I think your goals are great. And
Thank
I
you.
think it's good that that's good. You get to put yourself first. As a mom, my goals are a little different from you. It's very hard to put myself first,
Uh,
but I really try to figure out little things that I can do for myself. So as a treat, I went ahead and booked myself 5 months of personal training.
that's
I do
awesome.
have a horrible back, so I decided to do this because every time I'm like doing Beachbody or something at home, my back's hurting. So I'm doing something wrong. I need some direction.
Yeah.
I have a very bad back. I have spondylitis, scoliosis, and arthritis in three parts of my back, and I do not let it stop me. I
Hmm.
fight through it, and it's hard because I don't want to be hunchback,
Yeah.
when I'm older. So I do fight through it. I don't make it an excuse. Um, but yeah, there are days I suffer from back pain a
Yeah.
lot, but I try to keep smiling. So I personal training is
Yeah.
my goal
And
starting.
maybe they can help you with figuring out things to strengthen it, right?
Well, the guy who's training me has the same back problems to me, so I think that's pretty amazing.
Oh, that's, yeah.
So yeah, so exactly. So I can learn how to exercise properly and know what I'm doing wrong. So personal training, my goal is to walk a bit more with the kids outside,
Hmm.
uh, take an hour to myself, 3 to 4 days a week, even if it just meant to
Hmm.
go pull up at the beach and talk on the phone to you maybe, or
Hmm.
just have some time to myself.
Yeah.
Um, saying no more, that's something I started doing back in 2015. It is a very easy habit for me now. It's not a habit. Just no. And I don't even give reasons. People do not give people reasons when you say no. You don't have to be like, no, because I have to do this. Just no. It doesn't work for me today. And I finally learned that was a hard habit. I used to yes to everyone, even when I was drained. And
Hmm.
you were the same way.
Yeah.
And
People
even when people are
pleasers
young, you're so
anonymous.
tired, trying to put a smile on, but you're like, I just want to be
Yeah.
in my bed. I can say no all the time now. And not
That's
in a bad
great.
way. It's just, I just have, maybe I'll see one friend a week now instead of seeing
Hmm.
like before I was seeing friends 4 or 5 times a week. That's a lot. And then
It's
my
a lot.
kids, and then my husband, and so now, once a week I have goals, one play date a week. This is before COVID.
Hmm.
Um, just I have really small goals, and that's
That's
kind of my
awesome.
goal going into next year. My
I
goals.
love that. Yeah, that's really great. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. I just remember to breathe, take deep breaths, and it's funny. It's like one of the easiest medicines to do when you're so stressed, but we don't do it. And then
I
and I have to
know.
wait till I get to a 10, like, okay, time to
I
breathe.
know.
And I'm like, okay, deep breath. And I'm like, can you rest those shoulders? My shoulders are up here. And I start
I
taking breaths. And
know.
I'm like, oh, wow. Woo, wow.
I'm the same. I'll catch myself holding my breath a lot, and I know it's really bad for me. So if I could do those breathing exercises at least once a day, just to focus on it, oh, it helps. But
You know
yeah,
what'd be
it's
good? One
so
day we should do a
crazy.
video on all the techniques that we learned, because I learned a lot of techniques
Hmm.
through my counselor as well that help
Hmm.
things of grounding your feet on the ground, closing your eyes, just a whole bunch of
Yeah,
different tapping. I learned the tapping one,
yeah,
but I learned a couple different tapping ones. So it'll be
that's
interesting to know
awesome.
which one you know. We should talk about that one day.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be super great. And I'm just seeing here, how are you and your family and boyfriend doing? Hey, how's it going? Good to see you on the live, and we're doing well. Thanks so much for asking. I hope you're doing well too. How's everything going with you?
And hey, Shabnam, I saw you jumped on. I don't know if you're on, but hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I see
Yeah.
some other people I know. I hope you guys are all doing great. This is awesome. I'm really happy that we did this check-in today. I'm just checking to see that make sure I didn't miss any comments.
Yeah.
Um,
Check through. Actually, I haven't. Yeah, I should have went through too.
I know, but it's so great. Thanks everybody for joining in and hanging out with us today. Is there anything else you want to say today, Danielle? Anything we missed touching on or?
No, I just think it's good to have boundaries set up for yourself, especially during these times. And, you deserve breaks. You deserve time to yourself. Never feel guilty when you say no.
Exactly
And
the
reach out.
same for you.
Always reach out. Reach out if you need help. Like, just for anybody. If you're struggling, mental health, you don't know who to talk to, reach out. You can even reach out to Ava and I. Like, that's
Yeah.
how we started. I did a talk on Facebook earlier this year, and moms I didn't even know reached out to me
Hmm.
about postpartum. Oh my God, I had it. I wish I went to counseling. Like, my husband almost left me. Like, I just wish more people would share their story. If you have a story, please share it. Even if you want to
Hmm.
come on with us and share it, please, because people need to
Hmm.
hear this. And this is just
Yeah,
how I feel right now. We
exactly.
try to walk around like we're these perfect human beings, and we all have our different challenges. And if we can work together as a team, we can get through it. So just don't forget that. You're strong, you're amazing, you're beautiful. And just remember that. Just remember that about yourself. For yourself, because you guys are all amazing human beings.
Yeah, exactly. And I just see here,
The
Lori
sound.
just shared. So
Oh, the sound was off for a second.
it was it. Are you back? Can you hear me now?
It's going on and
Um,
off. I
okay,
can hear you now. Yeah.
Lori just said, my New Year's goal is to drink more water, daily writing journal, a positive list, setting boundaries, walking more. And she said, I will come on and share another
Awesome.
time. So that is amazing. Thank you, Lori.
I love that. Thank you. That's awesome. I love her goals.
Yeah, me
I will
too.
come on and share another time. Awesome.
Yeah.
Zumba auntie, is that your aunt?
It is a lady named Lori who has been an
Oh,
amazing
that's awesome.
supporter of Innocence Lost.
Oh,
She
that's
is
awesome.
amazing. She is always supporting me. She's all on Facebook. Lori's always commenting on my posts, liking and sharing stuff, being supportive of Innocence Lost. She
That's
got a
awesome.
calendar, like she's been a really, really amazing supporter and friend. So
Oh, that's beautiful.
thank you, Lori.
Very nice messages. Thank you.
Well, I'm so glad you're still on and you got to hear that. Yay.
Well,
Oh, we got another one here. Fascinating said, mine is rest, more guitar and piano playing, and more gym time. That's awesome, Fascinating. Fascinating, did you watch the entire live? I cannot believe that. Wow, thank you so much. That's really nice of you. Because I saw you come on at the beginning, and I know he's in his room right now.
oh my goodness, you guys are funny.
So he's been on the whole time.
That's awesome.
Well, thanks, Fascinating. Yeah, he
Yeah,
said
thanks
yeah.
for joining. Thanks for
Well,
being
I love
here.
you, and thank you always for the support because he can be my little counselor sometimes, you know, helping me through stuff too. So
Yeah, well, your partner's your walk-in partner for life, so that's good. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's awesome. Well, if there's nothing else,
Are you two?
uh,
You're so cute. Aw, thank you. We
thank
try. So
you.
sugar. Gotta have a little humor sometimes, you know?
Yeah,
But yeah.
that
Yeah,
was
my other
really,
goal is to smile more.
that's good.
People say I'm
Yeah.
very intimidating when I don't smile, so I am trying to smile a bit more. Too much thoughts in my head sometimes. So that's another goal for next year, to smile more.
That's good. And you know, um, I find that even when you're in a really bad state, if you can think of one thing, just one thing that you're grateful for, it can turn everything around. Because like no matter what it is, like even if it's just I'm grateful for my life, you know, like waking up and being like, I'm so grateful I woke up today. And oh, another thing that I haven't really touched much about, but prayer helps a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I've been praying more, and sometimes it just really helps turn your day around, you know?
Yep, I agree with you. Well, thanks for having me on again. And
Thank you, Danielle. This was awesome. I'm really happy we did this. And here's to an amazing new year, 2021.
yes,
New
everyone.
starts.
Bless.
Yeah. And just continuing on with all of these things, right?
Yep.
We know what to do. We just got to do it.
Yes, no, that's true. You know, just
Make
baby
sure,
steps.
yeah, make sure you're putting yourself first.
Yep. Amen, girl.
Okay. Love you.
I love you too.
All right.
Everyone, be
Have a
safe,
great,
take care.
bye guys. Thanks so much all for coming on.
Bye.